What's up everybody? Welcome back to One More Guitar. I know I always say thank you for watching, and I mean it every time, but today I want to take a second and really say thank you so much for watching and subscribing to the channel. Recently the channel's hit 1,000 subscribers and I am stoked. I didn't know when I started if I'd even make it to 100 subscribers. I just wanted to share some videos of the guitars I was getting and keep myself playing and maybe share my love of music to some people. So that was my whole goal, and I'm just super excited that I've made it this far. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So I thought it'd be fun today to just kind of go around my room and look at my collection as of right now. A lot of this stuff you've seen on the channel, but some of it you haven't seen, and I thought it'd be cool to just kind of get a snapshot of my collection at 1,000 subs, because I definitely plan to keep doing this channel, and if I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to have to buy some more guitars. So I think the collection is going to change a good bit over the years, so I thought this would be a good place to start to just document what I have right now, and then we'll see how it goes. So let's get going. Alright, I thought I'd start with the first electric guitar I ever got. This is an Epiphone Les Paul that was made in Korea. I picked this up sometime in high school, and you'll see there's a big chip in the headstock up here. I played it through high school, through college, after college. I played this guitar hard. I saw Song Remains the Same. I wanted to be Jimmy Page. Got a guitar that looked like his. And like I said, I've loved it. I ended up changing out all of the pickups and the electronics over the years, and I think I'm going to do something different with it pretty soon. But I really love this guitar. Next we'll move on to the Agufish signature guitar by Harley Benton. If you watch Agufish's channel, you may have seen this guitar before. This is the first guitar I reviewed on my channel. When I saw him put this out, I had to have it. I just love the way this top looks, and it's got a lot of really cool features to it. It's got stainless steel frets, lumen laid dots, a roasted maple neck. The only thing I don't care for are the pickups, really. Next we'll check out the Gibson Flying V. What can I say? I love this guitar. This is the best guitar I have. Every time I plug this in, it sounds like exactly what my ears want to hear. I can't say enough good things about that one. Moving on. This is the Squier Classic Vibe 50s Telecaster. I really love the way the pickups sound in this guitar, and I love the way the finish looks. It's a little heavy. It weighs about 9 pounds, and the neck is a little too thin for me, but I really think that's a killer guitar. Next we've got the Roadhouse Deluxe Stratocaster. This is a made in Mexico Fender. I really like the grain in this guitar, and it comes with Texas Special pickups, and I think those sound really good. I have to say this was my first Strat, and for some reason I really struggled getting this thing set up. I have a buddy who just cannot stand this guitar because of the years of it going out of tune when you tried to play it, but I think it's all squared away now, and I really enjoy it. Next is a Gibson SG Faded. I picked this up at a pawn shop, and at first I really liked it. I love the way it looks, but then I played it some and just didn't like the way it felt in my hands. But then when I did those Epiphone versus Gibson videos, I found that I really do like those pickups a lot. So I may pick up another guitar with those pickups one day, but as far as keeping this one, I'm probably not going to keep it around. Next we have the Epiphone Les Paul Special in TV Yellow. You may have heard me say a few times that that was my favorite guitar that I picked up last year. I think those pickups sound awesome. The neck's pretty thick, but if you're good with thick necks, I definitely recommend trying one of these because I love that one. Alright, next is Ibanez RG450EXB or EXB. I'm not sure what the model number is, but I basically picked this up for a mod project. I swapped out all the pickups for Seymour Duncan's, and I did some cool stuff with the wiring. So not only can you split the pickups, but you can get the neck and the bridge at the same time, or all the pickups at the same time. So with the Floyd Rose, this is a very versatile guitar. The neck's a little thin, but that's kind of what you expect on a guitar like this. It's a lot of fun though. Alright, next we've got the Epiphone 1959 Les Paul Standard. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the videos I've made about this guitar and probably subscribed because of them, so I really do appreciate that. I've had some people say they got this guitar because of my videos, so if you did that, I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. I think this guitar's got some cool specs. It's got the aged gloss finish. We've got the Gibson burst buckers, which are some of my favorite pickups. It's got a long neck tenon, 59 neck profile. I think this is one of the coolest guitars that came out last year, and I enjoy playing it. Alright, next we've got the Gretsch G5230T, I think, and some of these model numbers. But anyway, I really enjoy this guitar too. One of my favorite things about this one is the pickups, because I don't have any other guitar that sounds like this. Those are very low output pickups, and it just has its own characteristics to it, and I think it's really cool. This is also the only guitar I have with a Bigsby, and I've really been enjoying that too. It's pretty fun to play with. The one thing I'll mention about this one is that master volume. Even though it has a treble bleed on it, if you turn it down, you lose something. Next up is the Squier Baritone Cabronita Telecaster. This was part of their Paranormal series, and I couldn't resist this one. A baritone with P90s just was too appealing to me. I really like the way this one looks too. I'm not always a fan of black guitars, but I think the aesthetic of this one is really nice. And I really like this guitar because it brings out the creative side of me. Every time I play it, it makes me come up with something that I wouldn't usually come up with. But it's also hard to jam with your friends when you have to think in fifths, so it's kind of a double-edged sword there, but it's a really fun guitar. Alright, this is a Epiphone G400 Pro. This is the 1966 limited edition version. It's got a larger pick guard, and I think the neck profile is a little different. I can't remember if there's anything else. But I picked this up in 2016, I think. It was at a time when that first Les Paul I showed you wasn't working. Something was wrong with the electronics, and so I needed a guitar with humbuckers for a band I was in, and I picked this one up. And this has been a really fun guitar. I gigged with this a few times before I fixed the Les Paul, and it got the job done. Alright, next we'll check out one that I reviewed recently. This is the Fender American Original 50s Stratocaster, and I love this guitar. I think this thing sounds awesome, and I love the way it looks. Something about that, left to pick up there. But something about that maple with that white finish, I love it. I love that you can see the grain through it. This is probably my favorite Strat, and I hate to say that because I really love my American Pro Strat, but this thing is killer. Alright, speaking of the American Pro Strat, let's check that out. I picked this up in 2019, and this is a Fender Special Run because it's got an all rosewood neck. And if you've never played an all rosewood neck, I'll say it's one of the most unique feeling necks I've ever played. It feels like having a raw piece of wood in your hands versus, gloss or satin. So it's kind of interesting. Compared to the American Original, this is a more modern spec guitar, and it definitely has its benefits. I really enjoy both of them, but I like the American Original just a little more. Next, we'll check out this Series 10 by Bentley that I picked up at a thrift store for $40. I got this because I thought it would be good to mod and just mess around with, kind of a project guitar. But when I got it home, I realized it was super heavy, and also somebody's already been back there messing with it some. So I haven't even plugged this thing in yet. Maybe I'll do a video at some point where we plug it in together. But you can see it's missing the bar, it's missing the switch tip, but it was $40, so what are you gonna do? And I guess that brings us to the I'm a sucker for a deal part of the episode. Here are my acoustic guitars, and this one here is an Ibanez something. I have no idea what the number is. I'll put it on the screen. But this has a really rich tone to it. The neck's kind of thin, and it feels good for finger picking. But you can see down here that there's some chips. This guitar was a return, and I got it for $5. Again, I can't pass up a good deal. And it really sounds great for what it is. And until it breaks, I'll keep playing it. Alright, next we'll take a look at a guitar I got out of necessity. Right before I went to college, the first acoustic I had, which was a Yamaha, somehow the face pulled off of it. And so I was at school with no guitar. So as soon as I could work it out, I went to a pawn shop, made a deal, and picked this thing up. And this is pretty much the guitar I learned all of my foundation of playing on. It's heavy, it doesn't sound that great, the electronics kind of suck, but what can I say? I played it a lot and I learned a lot on it. Next we'll move on to another deal I got. I never saw the blemish on this one unless this is it right here. But this was another return and another guitar that I got for $5, and this is an Epiphone. Again, I don't know what the model is, but I'll put it on the screen. But this is probably the best acoustic I have right now. It sounds good and it plays well. The electronics work well. So I was definitely stoked on this deal. Just can't beat that. Next we've got this Yamaha parlor guitar I have. A buddy of mine gave me this as a gift. He likes to play these a lot, especially when he goes to the beach and stuff, and he wanted me to have one. And this is pretty fun to play. It uses nylon strings, the neck's really wide, and it joins the body somewhere between the 10th and 12th fret, so it always messes with my head when I move between this guitar and a regular guitar. But this is fun to travel with, and it's got that classical sound, so I like it. And the last acoustic I have is another pawn shop purchase. This is a Martin Backpacker guitar. I've done a video about this. This was a spur of the moment purchase for sure. I went in there and they had it for pretty cheap, so I picked it up. It's not the best guitar, but it does kind of have a cool sound to it, and it's very portable. I keep this by my desk, and I play whenever I have a minute. And if I've got to go anywhere, you can just throw it in the car. It doesn't take up hardly any space, and it's good for what it's made for, traveling. Alright, now let's take a quick look at the basses. Now this is a Squier P Bass, and this is the first instrument I ever bought with my own money. I worked all summer, saved up, went in and bought this and a PV bass amp, and joined a band. Over the years, it wasn't taken care of very well, and I've got some videos of me trying to fix the neck, but I replaced all the electronics in it, and the neck's better now, and I definitely play this one the most. Those Fender 60s pickups sound great in it. Next we have a Fender Aerodyne. This is a made in Japan model. They have a lot of cool colors in Japan, but you can usually only find black over here. I got this bass because I was in a band and I was playing a Squier Classic Vibes 70s jazz bass. And that thing weighed over 11 pounds. And after several gigs, my shoulder started to notice that. So I went to the store and said, show me your lightest, best bass, you know, within reason. And this is what they gave me, and I loved it. It's been a good bass. Next I have a few things on display. I have a cigar box guitar up here on the left and a ukulele on the right. Both of them are pretty cheap. I play them sometimes just for fun. Here we've got a mandolin that I picked up. I was actually looking for a lap steel guitar, and I mean this was years ago. I found this deal where you could get the mandolin and a lap steel for, I think it was 80 bucks. So this is a company called Rogue. I don't know if they're still around or not, but you know, I couldn't resist the deal, and I actually ended up playing this mandolin more than I played the lap steel. Used to play some Zeppelin songs on this thing. Next we have another thrift store deal I couldn't pass up. This is a violin, or fiddle if you will. It's missing a string because I played it for a minute, I broke a string, and I haven't played it since. But I'd love to learn one day. I just couldn't resist an instrument for under $50. Like I said, maybe one day I'll take the time to learn how to play this thing. And here we have the lap steel I picked up with that mandolin. Again, it's a Rogue. I learned a bunch of Hank Williams songs on this. That's why I wanted the thing. So I tuned it to like C9 or something like that. And then I watched an Arlen Roth video and he had it tuned to like E7, and I changed it, learned one song, couldn't play my Hank Williams anymore, never played it again. But now that I've got it out, I kind of want to play some Hank Williams. Alright, I think this is a good place to stop before I get into pedals and amps and keyboards and harmonicas and things that people are just probably not interested in. So again, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I got a lot more stuff planned, so stick around. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Take it easy and keep playing. Did you think that was it? Come on, there's always one more guitar. Coming soon.